this September 29th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code CFBX on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use the promo code CFBX. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20x in one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. The promo code is SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by VSiN. Sign up now, save 40% off with their football season special when you use promo code SGP. That's at vsin.com/subscribe, promo code SGP. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, no idea. 28th. I don't even know what day it is. Thursday. Is it Thursday? Thursday. Yep. Thursday, September the 28th. And we are here to attempt to handicap some of the hand-picked action from around MLB on Friday, September the 29th. And joining me to help me out with the date and other things is Mr. Dylan Rockford. Hello, Dale. How are you?
I'm doing well, Malcolm. Good to be with you. One of the last regular season shows for us today. But remember last week I was talking to you about the boxing match going down in Newcastle?
Oh, yes. Yeah. China White.
So, no, not UFC, boxing, a little different. But so after the boxing match, they take scenes of Newcastle and whatnot.
Okay.
I got things to report back. One good thing, beautiful architecture in the city of Newcastle, they said. But the bad thing is the airport is some shit. They lost my guy's luggage. British Airways, not so good.
Okay, yeah, you're right. The city centre is absolutely stunning, Dylan. Very nice. If you just got to remember to lift your head up. People never walk around with their head up and have a look around anymore. It's absolutely beautiful. And I cannot comment. I've had no bad experiences at Newcastle Airport, Dylan. So I can't comment for that. However, I said to you just before we started, I've got some British-related chat for you to start the show. You instantly started panicking because you thought we might be back onto the references that you don't get again. Right, our country, Dylan, today is in mourning. It's effective. It's been like our 9/11 today. So I'll set this up. Do you have is there like the US's favorite tree? Do you have a big tree in America that everyone knows the tree?
Not that I know. I know it's like a red oak. I'm a big red oak guy. I don't know if the
rest I know. I mean, like just one, not a type of tree, like an actual tree, one tree.
Not that I know of. No.
Because obviously you've got. So right, give me like a national landmark then that everyone's aware of and loves.
The Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island.
There you go. Yeah. So right, there's this tree here. It's called the Sycamore Gap. Sycamore as in tree, gap as in the shop, and it's on the between where I live in Newcastle and over the west coast. It's all along Hadrian's Wall. If you know Emperor Hadrian of the Roman Empire, he built a big wall to keep the Scottish people out because it's just up the road, and people walk this wall. It's lovely, beautiful walk through Northumberland, and halfway along is this big tree, been there for hundreds of years. Do you know the film? What's it called? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, with Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that tree's in that film where they're having a little dance about. He's standing on the wall. He's standing on Hadrian's Wall underneath the big tree in the gap. Big tourist attraction. This morning, some fuckers cut it down, Dylan. Overnight, someone's taken and they've arrested a 16-year-old kid. This thing's right. this kid must have parked somewhere, or how he's driving a car at 16. He's then walked like the 4 miles to this place, taken a chainsaw and completely cut this tree down. So
how long do you think it took him?
Oh, mate, Google it when you get a chance, or when I'm talking. Mate, this thing was massive. Like, it's got to be 20 foot round, 20 foot circumference, this tree. And they're claiming this 16-year-old kid did it. But it just makes me laugh that the entire country, yesterday morning, there was a schoolgirl stabbed to death in London. And it was on the news, there was a few raised eyebrows. A tree gets cut down, the entire country, it's like the Queen's died all over again. So yeah, have a Google of the Sycamore Gap. It's like someone just sanded what's that monument with all the faces on it?
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. It's like someone overnight. It's like someone sanded all the faces off there with a big sanding machine, and it just woke up and they've all gone.
Do we have a criminal problem in the UK?
No, well,
we might.
Probably. Well, I think everyone does, don't they? We just don't shoot each other as much as you.
Yeah,
that's the problem. We just don't like pull each other's hair and stuff, and like slap each other about a bit, which is fine because everyone recovers from that. But
a 16-year-old though, man, these parents.
Yeah, that's what's. But I mean, I'm not that bothered because it's a tree. At the end of the day, I'm more interested in people. What I want to know is what this 16-year-old kid was thinking. Like, I don't know what's gone through his head to cut through this thing down. So yeah.
Did he think he was going to get away with it? Because everyone was going towards it. People were going to notice it's gone.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's just lying there. It's like fucking 80 foot tall. Like, it's incredible. Yeah, have a little look at that when you get a chance. No idea why we're talking about that. Well, I'll tell you why we're talking about that. We haven't got many lines for tomorrow, Dylan, have we? We're having a look at 8 games. But we've only got 3 of them on the board. There's been a little bit of day's ball today. The Diamondbacks have dropped a game. Disappointing as well. They just never really put bat to ball enough. Only had 3 hits, limited the White Sox to 3 hits as well, but went down 3-1 to Chicago this afternoon. I think they're still in a strong position, the Diamondbacks. And I tracked down, I've got a plus 475 on the D-backs to make the playoffs, Dylan. So I forgot all about that. So I've been sharing on the D-backs just a little bit. So hopefully today doesn't set them back too much. But other than that, I mean, the last couple of nights, I don't think me and you had a chance to talk about the Cubs. What went down with Seiya Suzuki the other night. And then just last night, just started to get a little bit arsey between Seattle and Texas. There was benches clearing, etc. Oh, Houston, sorry.
I didn't see that. What happened?
Hector Neris struck out. Hector Neris, I struck out J-Rod. And then, like a cartoon character, like chased him all the way back to the dugout. He was really pleased with his strikeout, obviously, Hector Neris. And normally you chirp a little bit, but he went for him. He struck him out, and he absolutely went for him. So then the bench is cleared. But it just got me thinking that there's baseball, there's so many sort of non-consequential games. Because you could play a series against your main rival in May and lose or sweep them, but then it doesn't really matter because there's another 120 games coming. You could go on to Oakland and get swept. You could get swept in Colorado the next 3 days. Where, like with the Premier League season, if we go to Manchester City and lose, even whatever time of the season, it's a massive thing. You're going to struggle to get those points back. And there's only this week in baseball, really, when that sort of thing happens. Like Houston, Seattle, Texas, they're not going to get those games back again this week now. No. And like I say, you couldn't help but be broken-hearted for Seiya Suzuki the other night. He looked like the saddest man on the planet when that ball hit the floor.
What do you think it was? Miscommunication? Because it looked like they were both talking to each other, and then it just drops right in the middle. That just can't happen.
It never happens. Like, I mean, if it happened once in the middle of May, like I say, the Kansas City v Detroit game, it would just kind of go under the radar. You might get to see it once, but man, he picked his time. So yeah, still plodding on. And we have got some picks we can be making. I found it hard this week. I've really found the handicapping hard. Yeah. So hopefully, Dylan, talking it through with you, you might be able to help me out a little bit. We'll get to the picks. I'll tell you first about Game Time. Game Time, helping people buy tickets stress-free. Buying tickets shouldn't be stressful, but it is. It can be an awful hassle to sort them out. But Game Time is sorting that out for you. They are the fast and easy way to get tickets for sports, music, comedy, and any theatre near you. You've got killer deals on last-minute tickets, and their best price guarantee is fantastic as well. Flash deals, so you can forget planning months in advance. They've got tickets for football, basketball, baseball, playoff tickets. Go and get them on Game Time next week. Concerts, comedy, theatre, and much more. And the guarantee is fantastic. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you can find the seat in the same row and section for cheaper. The thing to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem the code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And Underdog Fantasy, a great way to play alongside your favourite football team all season long. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. From now until October the 4th, Underdog is matching 100% of first deposits up to $500. We've got $100,000 Sundays continuing. $2 million in season-long prizes, $100,000 this week. 10K will be won by 10 people. So watch along, make your picks, maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code SGPN. Underdog, double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Right. Trev has got his crown back in the chat. Trev got ginned the other night for being first in. He lost his streak. He was in here before me, actually, tonight. He was waiting. He's got the streak back. You're off and running again, Trev. Munaf is here trolling me again. He's done nothing but troll me for about a month. It doesn't matter where I go. Munaf is there just getting stuck into me. So good evening, Munaf. I hope you're very well. What, Dylan?
Real quick, coming to fall season, the end of baseball, only a few games that are really, have meaning. And, now you're getting into the Premier League. Do you find it hard to find value in some teams and kind of get yourself up to handicap all these games every day? And how do you, I guess, move forward and go right back into that all-in mode when the playoffs start?
Yeah, well, we've reflected that on the show, haven't we? Because we've started concentrating really on the games with playoff implications. The teams we've already clinched, I think you kind of have to keep an eye on. Myself and Munaf on Monday night, we were talking about Atlanta's pitching rotation because they've got a few little worries over Max Fried, over Charlie Morton. We were talking about, I think it was Bryce Elder, we were handicapping on the night and said he possibly might be pressed into the front end of the rotation again, and he's been struggling a little bit. So you have to keep an eye on them. Yeah, but it is hard. You can only really concentrate or bet with any confidence on the games where there's teams still playing for something. Although every night we have had a little look around what we've been calling the bottom draw for games as well. I think we took the Padres on the run line the other night behind, I think it was Blake Snell possibly. And tonight I quite like the look of Philly against the Mets tomorrow. They've won 7 in a row, and Tyler McGill is going for the Mets. So you can find some value, but it is difficult. Looking tomorrow, for example, on this Carlos Rodon going against Jordan Lyles. What you supposed to do with that? Apart from take the over. So in a way, I found it a little relief. Because what kills you in MLB betting, Dylan, is the volume. It certainly kills me on Tally Site, which is the website we put all of our picks into every day. And it kills me on the volume. But on my separate tracker for my log and my dog, I'm doing really well. About 12 units up on the season. Where on Tally Site, I'm about 30, 35 units down. And it's just the volume. Because you just can't physically play all those games and get yourself a positive result. So But yeah, going into the playoffs next week, how would you do? You just reset? How do you get into the playoffs, Dylan?
Yeah, like you, I just keep an eye on the teams that have clinched or I think that are gonna be in the playoffs, like the Arizona Diamondbacks. I got a ticket. I'm hoping the Cubs make the playoffs, but yeah, just keeping an eye on them. Not really paying attention to like Pittsburgh, Mets, Cardinals, Washington, or like you said, Kansas City or the Yankees. So I stopped really handicapping those games and just focusing on the teams that are going to get in. The Blue Jays, hopefully one of those two teams of the AL West, Tampa or Baltimore, Texas, Minnesota. So yeah, I just take a look at that, and then it's kind of a reset. I kind of see who's, I guess, trending upward going into the playoffs. But if a team is not really trending, like Baltimore, they've won 4 in a row. Minnesota's kind of a streaky one. So I just take a look at how they're going into the playoffs, and I kind of judge them on that. But I kind of, wipe a clean slate going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll know. I think we're going to do a show tomorrow and probably Saturday for the Sunday games if things are still live. And then, yeah, it'll be Monday night. The playoffs start Tuesday, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. Yeah, it's exciting.
When are we all getting on?
Well, yeah, I think maybe Monday night, possibly. We'll have to see what our esteemed leader, Munaf, has to say. But, yeah, Monday night might be an option, definitely. We'll start. We'll go through tomorrow's card. Like I say, it's really slim pickings in terms of games with lines here. We can give our steers on some of the other ones, which is what we'll have to do with this first game. 6:35 Eastern, the Miami Marlins at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Both teams TBD at the moment, although we believe it's Edward Cabrera for Miami and Andre Jackson for Pittsburgh.
Ooh, I have a different pitcher.
Okay, there you go. So that instantly causes a problem. Who have you got for Pittsburgh?
I got Oswaldo Bido.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll leave that then. I mean, I like Cabrera. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't matter because we've just said we'll be looking at Miami. We'll be looking at teams who've still got something to play for. And Miami behind Cabrera. I don't know. Pittsburgh won't be able to roll out a pitcher tomorrow that I won't want to take Miami on. Certainly in the first 5. Cabrera doesn't go any length. 4 or 5 innings, but he's got a 2.45 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's been going really, really well. Pittsburgh, this is their final homestand, so they'll be playing with a handbrake off. They played quite hard last week and got a couple of good wins, actually, some fight-back wins as well. But they have lost 3 in a row, I think, now. So as it stands, Miami are tied in the... Miami actually hold the wild card spot on tiebreakers, I think, at the moment. So, yeah, I think you'd have to go with Miami. But I'd be looking for things to do with Cabrera or Miami in the first 5 innings, Dylan.
Yeah, same here. I'd probably have to lean with the Fish. They need to keep winning. Like you said, Pirates, they've lost 3 of 4. Yeah, they have fought against the Phillies, even against the Reds in that last game. They're losing games by just 1 run. So they're in the games. They are fighting hard to the finish. But, they really don't have anything to play for. I was talking to Lante on Tuesday. Sometimes the hungrier dog runs faster. When the Marlins, they've come back from behind against the Mets this past series. So they know they need to keep winning. So if the price isn't ridiculous, if these 2 pitchers, Cabrera and Bido, are going, I made the Marlins a -130 favorite. So if the price isn't ridiculous with the Marlins, I feel like I have to take them.
Okay, a game that we do have lines for is the 7:05 Eastern between the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Am I right in thinking, Dylan, that Baltimore can clinch tonight if they win?
I think they have to win and the Rays have to lose.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, you can handicap this game all you like, but then if that happens, you're instantly in champagne fade territory, to use the phrase that Scott coined last week. And you'd be looking to lean away from Baltimore. Nick Pivetta has been going really well for the Red Sox, actually. John Means is the pitcher, left-handed pitcher for Baltimore, who are -148 as it stands. Boston are +126, and the total is set at 8. I mean, would you be tempted to get involved in this game now before you know these results, or how would you look at this for tomorrow, or would you just completely leave it?
I mean, depending on the number. So right now, like you said, they're minus 148 for the Orioles at home, plus 126 for the Red Sox on the road. I think I think you got to take the Orioles here. I mean, I don't know if I take it. I have to see tonight, but I think if they win, you're not going to get this price anymore. I feel like that's my understanding of how it's going to go. But you can't just back the Red Sox in this spot, Mal. You know, the Orioles, they need to continue to win. I mean, if they win tonight, Orioles lose or the Rays lose, then it's pretty much sealed. But you know, I just think the Orioles at minus 148 at home, which they're wagons at, you just got to take them. Maybe you could cash out, but you just can't take the Red Sox 2-8 in their last 10. Pavetta's he's pitched okay, but you know, they've lost his last 4 starts, and you know, not to say John Means has been that much better, but he has looked pretty good since coming back. You know, just 1 earned run, his hard hit rate in all those 3 games, small sample size, but it's been all in the 30s. So I do think this is a good spot for him, and they're going to need John Means in the playoffs to keep going forward. So it was good that they got him back. I mean, depending on if they win and the Rays lose, I got to take the Orioles here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm seeing a price of minus 140. I do like Pavetta. Pavetta's stuff's great. I think he's up there in, there's an advanced analytic called Stuff Plus. How they work that out, I do not know. But he's always on the leaderboard for that. He's been pitching well lately. In really low scoring games as well, I noticed. So possibly you could take the under 8. I would take the under 8 now, and I think the champagne fade might even help with that if all the Boston bats are a little bit hungover tomorrow as well. Then that wouldn't affect that. It would even help a little bit. So I can see Baltimore winning a low-scoring game here. Boston have lost 4 in a row. Baltimore have won 4 in a row. Baltimore have held their nerve really well this week. I think they've done a good job. The flip side of that game then is this one, the 7:07 Eastern first pitch between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays. Aaron Savale is confirmed for Tampa Bay. TBD for Toronto, but we believe it's Hyun-Jin Ryu. No odds, unfortunately, with Toronto TBD. Aaron Savale, his surface numbers are okay, 3-3, 3.31 ERA, but he has fallen in a hole lately. 6.94 ERA in his last 5, and that really is an accurate reflection of how he's pitched. It's not a really high whip, but there's hard contact everywhere. He's given up homers. There's a few walks mixed in, so it's a little bit of everything from Savale. Hyun-Jin Ryu has got 1 good start against Boston in his recent game log, but it's been poor all around that. Multi-walks in his last 2, 3 homers last time out against Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, Toronto fighting for their lives and mustered up 2 hits last night against Gerrit Cole. Obviously, I think Gerrit Cole signed his papers for award season last night. This is really hard game to handicap because the offenses say under, but the starting pitchers say over. So I don't really know what to do. Matt Chapman is really struggling for Toronto at the minute. He's sitting way below 200 in his last 30-something games. The Blue Jays playoff run is very much mirrored the rest of their season. Tampa Bay Rays have done their bit, but looks like they've been held off by Baltimore, and this could be different. I've got no idea what to do with this. My selection is the Tampa Bay Rays. But it's this is look, no confidence in this at all. And it is definitely one of those where you need to have a look and see what's happened overnight.
Yeah, this one was definitely the hardest game to handicap, in my opinion. It should be a good series. I do think they'll both give it the all, but you know, Rays, they're still trying to win the division. Blue Jays, they're still trying to hold on to their lead in the AL wild card. But my numbers did make the Blue Jays a small minus 120 favorite, but I've had 0 luck backing them this year for whatever reason.
No one. That's the theme of this show. I saw Scott tweeting about it today. Lonte's made his teeth itch. Everyone's got the Blue Jays wrong. If anyone out there knows how to back the Blue Jays, come and tell us, because we've got no idea between us.
No idea. I don't know what it is. I just can't get them right. So I honestly, as a fan of baseball, I really just want to watch the game. But
yeah,
depending on the price, I might take the Blue Jays again, especially if we could get plus money. I do think they're going to open up the favorite on the road, the Rays. So if we could get a plus money, I do think we'll see a bounce back start from Henji Ryu. I know it was as bad as last start against this Tampa Bay Rays team, but other than that, yeah, he gives up the home run and some walks sometimes, but I don't really think he's been all that bad in the month of September. So gonna back him. I do like him a little more than Aaron Savali. So, but if honestly, if you're smart, you would take the Rays because I can't get them right. So I lean Blue Jays, but yeah, nothing real confident.
It was just the two hits last night, and then how poor Ryu's been gave me the Rays because the players they've got in that lineup at the moment who weren't really first choice players. They need to keep sort of swinging the bats and getting themselves ready for a playoff run. There's a couple of lads in there who weren't expected to be in there due to injury and what have you. Trev's not having it. Trev doesn't want anything to do with the Blue Jays. Maybe the kid who cut that tree down was a Blue Jays better, and he's just been driven over the edge this season. That could be it.
Blue Jays are beautiful birds, but they're very aggressive.
Are they really?
Yeah, very territorial.
Isn't that To Kill a Mockingbird? Is that something to do with Blue Jays, Dylan? Getting onto a little bit of literature?
I don't know, but funny thing about To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus Finch, that's the reason I got these circle glasses, because I went to school to become a lawyer. And I go, how do I look more sophisticated? I need circle glasses. So I went to the local glasses store. I think it's called LensCrafter. And I said, hey, I need to look like a lawyer. And they said, look at these. 3 years later,
so Atticus Finch out of the movie.
What happened?
Atticus Finch out of the movie you wanted to look like.
Yeah, exactly. The main
the original one.
The main character who played Atticus Finch, the lawyer.
Yeah. I think the line is you can kill as many Blue Jays as you like, but it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. I think that's where it comes from. But I'm not 100% sure they're Blue Jays. There might be another kind of Jay. I tell you what, we've covered some ground tonight. We've gone from famous old trees and Roman walls to Harper Lee novels. Excellent. Love it. Right, let's get back to B&D, Gens. And we're brought to you by VSIN. Sign up now and save 40% off football season special when you promo code SGP. VSIN.com/subscribe with the promo code SGP. Sean and Ryan got a contest going on with the other VSIN shows to see who sells the most subscriptions. And the winning show gets a $1,000 Super Bowl future. So where you get involved is Sean and Ryan are going to cut you in on the prize if you win. So what's not to love about that? The thing to do is go to vsin.com/subscribe, use the promo code SGP to sign up. And step 2, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/vsin and submit your proof of purchase. And if you win, or if they win, you'll get to vote on what team to use for the $1,000 Super Bowl future. And if you hit, you'll get an equal piece of the action. So go to vsin.com/subscribe, use promo code SGP, then sportsgamblingpodcast.com, VSIN to submit. I've got a parlay going on the Tampa Bay Rays to win the World Series and the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So that would be my vote if I was getting in on that action. Hall of Fame bets, helping you win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB and soccer bet with historical stats and data. If you put the parlay into Hall of Fame bets parlay optimizer, you get things like hit rates broken down by leg, expected probabilities. You can sort players by hit rate, find out who's hot and who isn't. So stop betting in the dark and use Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit hrefbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start research and start winning with Hall of Fame bets. Next up is a 8-10 Eastern first pitch, the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers. Both TBD again. I think it's Kyle Hendricks against Brandon Woodruff. But no lines, Dylan. Do you have the same pictures there? What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I got those two pitchers going. But yeah, the Cubs are just another one of those teams that just keep shooting themselves in the foot. We mentioned it in the play in the outfield the other night. It's just so frustrating watching as a fan. And then when you have a ticket on them to make the playoffs, which I don't know if they will at this point, but they better. But they've lost 2 in a row to the Braves. But both of those games they were winning and they should have won on the road. But against Woodruff now, going to Milwaukee, who outside of his last start, Brandon Woodruff has looked pretty good. He's pitched well against the Cubs already this season. In this spot, I did make him a minus 170 favorite. So unless we're getting a huge plus price with the Cubs, they're just so inconsistent. I really can't back them at this point. I also have too much money held up on them already. So if we could get a nice minus 140 or a little lower, I would take the Brewers. They're just a better team right now.
Yeah, Kyle Hendricks, I don't mind really. He's been okay. He's got a 3.08 road ERA, which is perfectly serviceable. But you said Brandon Woodruff's been excellent lately. He really has. This is another tough game to handicap. I tried to look back through the season series to see if I could split them in any way. You're just trying to find an angle in. There was nothing. There was no patterns in that season series at all that was sending me in one direction towards a bet. I think we'll get 2 good starts here. I don't see why Hendricks and Woodruff will go okay. I mean, both offenses. I like the Cubs' offense a little bit more. The Brewers' offense it's bits and bobs. I think they can manufacture some runs, but I don't think they're going to put up big numbers in bunches. So depending on. Is there a Rockford line on this one, Dylan?
Yeah, so for the total, I set my line at 8.1.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If I were taking under 8 here, or even a first 5 under, we can have a little bit of a slow burner as Hendricks and Woodruff get to work. Yeah, so we'll go under on the runs. 8:15 Eastern first pitch, the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. We have Brandon Williamson, left-handed pitcher for Cincinnati, and Jake Woodford for the Cardinals. Cincinnati are minus 116. The Cards plus 105. Total set at 9. So Cincinnati have just fallen away a little bit this week. They've not quite been up to it. And you know what I think, Dylan? That's just how good they are. I don't think we should be too harsh on them, because what you need to remember is, what was their projected win total at the start of the season?
The Reds?
Yeah.
I gotta look back at my future. I want to say like high 60s, maybe like low 60s.
Yeah, so I think sort of pinning them for being so I'm trying. Yeah, I've got it here now, mate. I'm just opening it up now. We've got our Moonaf's magic spreadsheet. I think it's a little bit harsh to sort of criticise them for falling away a little bit this week, because that's kind of where they were meant to be. 64.5 is the answer.
Yeah, 64. Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to be critical, and it's kind of understandable. They have fallen away when they were just riding those hot rookies pretty much the entire season. And they've had their injuries as well. Hunter Green missed bits, and Ellie De La Cruz. So, bit of a shame. I mean, they were over 500, which is quite remarkable, really, because they were a bit of a laughing stock as well. Their ownership was getting plenty of stick, and the fans weren't going. So to end up where they have, and certainly with the outlook that they've got, because it's exciting. They've got a lot of good players. They're going to be a fun team to watch. Brandon Williamson in this spot, 4-4, 4.54 ERA. He's been poor lately. He only goes 4 innings. His last 3 starts, he's given up 2, 3, and 5 runs against relatively poor opposition as well. He's faced St. Louis once this season. That was a typically poor start. And he has a 5.16 ERA against NL Central opposition in 6 games. So nothing to recommend Williamson really here in this spot. Woodford is 2-2 on the year, 5.09 ERA. He occasionally gets a spot start, generally opens or long relief. But he walks quite a lot of people. He gives up plenty of contact. I just didn't see a reason why this won't go over. There was nothing to recommend either pitcher. So I think we can see some runs here. I'll take the over 9.
Yeah, I do like the over as well. I set my total at 9.7. But I kind of like the dog here, Mal. Reds plus 110. Okay. I only made the Cardinals a minus 110 favorite. I don't know how, but the Reds still have a chance to make the playoffs. Just a game in the back half of the Fish. And it's another team that just keeps shooting themselves in the foot. They need this game. And I think if they could clean some things up, with their pitching, bullpen, defensively, I think they'll be all right. They are scoring runs. I don't think that's the problem. They just defensively, they don't have the best bullpen. And I think if they clean some things up, they're scoring some runs. Jake Woodruff, he isn't the best spot starter. He does give up a lot of hard contact. He only goes around 2-3 innings of work. I just got to take the dog here. They just have a lot more to play for. So I'm going to take the plus money, but I do agree on your total. I do think we'll see some runs.
9:40 Eastern first pitch between the Houston Astros and the Arizona Diamondbacks. JP France goes for the Astros, and they run into Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks. Plus 116 for Houston, minus 125 for the D-backs. Total is at 8.5. All to play for, Dylan, here.
Yeah, I like the Snakes here at home, minus 125. I made them a minus 150 favorite. I mean, I just don't know how you can't back Zach Gallen at home. He's been lights out this season. 12 of his 17 wins have come at home. He's 12-2 with a 2.45 ERA. D-backs, they've just been red hot. 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're really making a push for the playoffs, and I do think they'll get in. Their bats have come to life. Now they're versing JP France, who really hasn't had the best September. He's lost 2 straight starts to the Royals of all teams, 5.75 ERA in the month of September. So I just don't think this is a good spot for him and the Astros. The Astros have kind of turned it around a little bit, but I like Zach Gallen and the Snakes here at home. I'll take the short price on the money line.
So I agree with you about JP France. He is struggling. He's walking far too many people as well. Alvarez is still raking for Houston. What put me off a little bit taking a side here was Zach Gallen's last 2 road starts. His last 2 home starts. Yeah. It's like you say, generally being good at home, but it's the recency one. 2.45 at home, you can't argue with it. But his last 2, he gave up 4 runs on 5 innings against the Giants, and then 5 runs in 5 1/3 against Baltimore. So just a bit of a wobble. And those games, high-scoring games in there as well for him. Remarkably, these 2 haven't played each other this season, so there was no clues in there. Arizona have done a great job recently of holding their nerves and getting themselves back into this playoff position. 8-2 in their last 10. Really pleased with them. Didn't want to take Gallen or the D-backs just on that recency form, but I was happy to take the over. I think if they're both going to give up a few, there's going to be no cheap at-bats here. Everyone's going to bear down. So we'll take the over 8.5.
Yeah, make sure because I agree. I'm glad you brought up the total, because I was going to ask you your thoughts on the total, because I see 8.5s, I see 9s out there. I made my total 8.7. So I do think if you get an 8.5, I do like it more than a 9, to be honest.
10:10 Cowboy time, Eastern first pitch. The Texas Rangers at the Seattle Mariners. All TBD and no lines for what looks like Nathan Eovaldi for Texas and Brian Wu for Seattle. Eovaldi, 12-4 in the year, 3.26. Doesn't really tell the story what's gone on lately with him. In the All-Star break, when I went on the mothership with Sean and Ryan, was making a case for Eovaldi for a Cy Young. That seems like a long way off now. He has stretched back out again. He came back from the injury and he went 1 inning, then he went 2, then he went 3. And we're back up to kind of 5 now. Texas have won his last 4 starts, and he's better on the road. So there's a couple of decent pointers there. And Eovaldi is 2-0 against Seattle this season. Brian Wu is one of these young Seattle pitchers. He's really good. I like him a lot. He's 2-5 on the year with a 4.39 ERA, but he's just been really inconsistent lately. His last 5 starts, he's given up 6, 0, 0, 5, 0. I mean, which is it? Is it going to be 5? Is it going to be 0? Lots of walks, 3, 4, and 2. He gave up 4 homers last time against Texas, so Texas might just have his measure. It appears to me, Dylan, that Seattle have shit the bed. So I would take Texas here, please.
I hope they didn't shit the bed, because I'm still waiting for I have it 85.5 their win total. They've been sitting on 84 since Vietnam. I'm so mad at them. Well, we could understand why they lost. They had Megan Rapinoe pitch out the first pitch last night. That was
She seems deeply unpleasant to.
Oh, she's the worst person in the world. But yeah, for this game, I do have those pitchers, Wu and Eovaldi, going. I don't know. I think Eovaldi, he has been okay. It just sucks to say, but I think the Mariners got hot a little too early. You know, they had that nice little run in the beginning of September, but come end of September, the wheels have kind of fallen off a little. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, which were extremely crucial games against the Rangers and Astros. They weren't just against bum teams. They were games they needed to win. So they've left runners in scoring position, especially last night. They left a lot of runners in scoring position. They're just not getting that key hit that they need. And Rangers, they've kind of turned the ship around. They've gained their 2.5 games in lead in front of the Astros and the Mariners, and they're just smoking the ball right now. I hit on their team total yesterday over 4.5, and they barely came through, but they're smoking the ball right now. Their pitching has kind of come around. They aren't the best road team, but depending on the price, I might be on the Rangers. I just can't back the Mariners anymore. I did make the Mariners a short -110 favorite, but if we could get any sort of plus price here with the Rangers, I'd probably be on them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Rangers for me. Rangers for Matthew, who's joined us in the chat. Does he want fade in Seattle? Seattle's going to have a really exciting, disappointing stretch, just missing the playoffs. Yeah, Matthew's pretty much nailed it. So team ride on Texas. My laptop's just died, Dylan, so I can't. It's all right though. I think we're far enough through the show for it not to affect anything. 10:15, the final game. And there's not an awful lot we can give on this. So the LA Dodgers at the San Francisco Giants. The Dodgers at TBD looks like Lance Lynn. And I did see Ross Stripling going for the Giants, but that's now Keaton Wynn. No odds, and I don't know really much to say about this, Dylan, you?
Yeah, I did have Ross Stripling and Lance Lynn going. The Giants are just a disappointment team, coming down the stretch. They were right there to make the playoffs, but another team. I think this is a theme. They just continue to shoot themselves in the foot. Now they have to play, in my opinion, the second best team in the National League, who just can't seem to get it right. And Ross Stripling, I don't think he's good. If that is who's going for the Giants, they've lost his last 5 starts. There's just no way I could back the Giants here at home. I really don't care that they're home. Lance Lynn, after those 2 bad starts in the beginning of September and late August, he's kind of turned the things around a little bit. And it always helps that he has a great lineup giving him run support. So I did make if these 2 pitchers are confirmed, I did make the Dodgers a -130 favorite. So probably be on the Dodgers here.
Yeah, I totally agree. The Giants just need putting out their misery. They're so average. I saw a great stat today about Ronald Acuna's home runs and steals, and he's nearly got as many as the Giants and the Rockies entire teams. And like homers, he's hit 40, and I think the Giants have hit 150 or something. And he has outstolen the entire organisation. Lonte, the Giants had 53 stolen bases this time last week when me and Lonte chatted. Yeah, it's just pathetic. So yeah, give me the Dodgers on the run line. Just a quick glance around the rest of the card. I did give away a pick I liked at the top, which was Philly, who have won 7 in a row. And why wouldn't they just keep on rolling? It makes sense because they take on Tyler McGill and the Mets. And then I quite liked Detroit and Joey Wentz, left-handed pitcher, who's been going really well. Detroit have won maybe 5 in a row, 4, 5, 6, something like that. And they take on Cleveland, who are just sort of ticking over at the moment. So Detroit at home, I thought Joey Wentz could be live. Like I say, I haven't got the prices in front of me, but they were just a couple of picks from around the bottom draw. Anything else that caught your eye from the rest of the games, Dylan?
No, I agree on Philly. I got them at a -118 against the Mets. Yeah, Taylor McGill, he's garbage.
That's a great price.
Yeah, -118 against a team. A little revenge factor here with Taijuan Walker going against his old team. So, yeah, I do like them. You want to hear an ugly bet that give me the White Sox +124 at home. A little dog there. And then I actually am on the other side. I love my boy Cal Quantrill. It's been too much disrespect has been thrown his way. I'll take him on the money line. Me and Lante were on Shane Bieber the other night. He got the job done as well. So I'm going to take the Guardians minus 124. I made him a minus 140 favorite with Cal Quantrill. So I'm actually on the opposite side, but I do agree. I think that's a very good price for the Phillies on the road.
Okay, we take the bid. I did look at the Athletics as well, who were at the Angels. Chase Silseth, which is incredibly quick to see. I think he's back. He's been on the IL with this concussion for what seems like ages, and I think they're eventually bringing him back. But it possibly not a great spot for him in Oakland, as ever. I always I like a little Oakland player. They're about 1 plus 125 plus 130. They were competitive again today. And why can't they turn Silseth over tomorrow? I mean, is there a lock and dog anywhere, Dylan? Can you find?
I was just looking like, damn. I'll try. I'll attempt. For my lock, I guess I'd take the Snakes here at home against JP France, who I really just don't trust right now in the month of September. You mentioned Zach Allen has had those 2 back-to-back starts at home, which haven't been the best. But we do have a bigger sample size of him pitching better at home than those 2 games. So I'll trust his earlier form in the season rather than those last 2 starts at home. So I'll take the D-backs at home as my lock. And as my dog, I mean, I guess the only plus price I can take is the Reds right now. They're the only game on the board. So plus 110 for the Reds. They just have more to play for. Jake Woodruff, I don't really like him. He only gives you a short amount of innings. And I think this Red team, they've been able to score some runs. It's just their bullpen. If they could clean some things up, they can win this game. So Reds are a better team. So at plus 110, I'll take the Reds as my dog.
Okay. I'm scuffling around here looking for stuff as well. For my lock, I'll take the runs in Houston, Arizona. Like I say, I'm not hugely keen on what France has been doing. And those last 2 Gallen home starts were a little bit of a red flag. And both teams, every single at-bat, like I say, is going to be zoned in. So we'll see if we can get over 8.5 in that one. And for my dog, the Tampa Bay Rays at Toronto, I mean, you just can't trust them. I thought Tampa Bay were going to fall off more than they would. But a lot of injuries. And I just thought they kind of might down tools because it was unlikely they were going to catch Baltimore. I just thought they might ease off a little bit. And they've done their bit. They've pushed Baltimore all the way. They've made Baltimore be really good. Baltimore won 4 games in a row to maintain their lead. So they haven't had any room for a slip up. So yeah, Tampa Bay is still going okay. So I'll take them as my dog. I mean, I think that's just about it, Dylan. We did well there to stretch out. At the top of the show, we said we had nothing to talk about. And 48 minutes later, we're still going. Is there anything else you need to tell the people?
No, I do want to redeem myself with the football play. If I could give you one. Hey,
Are you there, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm here. You here?
Oh, gremlins have got involved.
I hear you.
Are you back now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Who went away? Me or you?
No, you went away.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you. I don't dispute it. Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back. Real quick, I wanted to give you a play in the Thursday night football game just because I gave you one winner, one loser. So I'll give you 2 plays. I like the Lions minus 1.5. I know they're playing in Lambeau. And I also like Jordan Love over 33.5 pass attempts.
I've got I think the Lions are going to win. Lions money line would be my call here.
Yeah, and I also agree. Yeah, I like the Lions, and I like Jordan Love over pass attempts. I agree with Trevor on the under 46. as well. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game.
One thing I need to point out to everybody is that on Sunday, I don't know if you've listened to the NFL Pick Show with Sean and Ryan, they joked this week that because the London game starts so early, they should get an international live. They normally go live before these NFL games. They should do an international live show. So me and Barry from the Premier League show have jumped in and volunteered to do it. So the live NFL pre-game show at 6:30 Pacific time in the morning. If you're up, have your breakfast. If not, 9:30 on a Sunday before the Jags and the Falcons. Me and Barry are going to do it. Unfortunately, we have to do it from our own channel. We're not allowed to do it on the main channel. They don't trust us. But yeah, if you want some terrible, terrible NFL picks, come and join me and Barry on Sunday morning, and that's what we'll do.
I love it.
That's why I took me San Diego Superchargers jersey out ready.
You even have Boz giving out NFL props on TikTok.
I haven't spoiled him about that. Honestly, he's out of control. He's completely and utterly out of control. He went live on TikTok on Saturday, and my daughter just keeps coming downstairs. She's 13. She's going, Dad, Barry's on TikTok again, and she's not impressed even a little bit. It's very funny. He's completely out of control, Baz. He's gone wild. Right, okay, well done. Let's get going before the aliens return. Thank you, Dylan. We covered a lot of ground as per. I don't know how much help you were picking baseball bets, but I had a good time doing it. Yeah. So thank you. Well done. Cheers, Trev. Cheers, Matthew. Like, rate, review in all the usual places. Back tomorrow. Good luck with your picks. Until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers. You'll have to press the button, Dylan, because I can't.